Okay, we got the UIs and overlays and everything. All right, here we go. Right then, welcome, folks. Welcome. Right, there we go. Hopefully, I ain't gonna need to alt tab anytime soon. So for the next hour and so, we're gonna be doing a little bit of news and things and whatnot else about the happenings in the industry, relatively speaking. And well, I've chosen for today's sort of background drop thing Minecraft. And
Did you build this?
No. And I'll explain.
I'm sorry. I wanted to give you the benefit of the doubt that TheYamiks has creativity and skill and holy shit.
I haven't played Minecraft in a long ass time, so yeah, never really been one for building extravagant things, more just utilitarian thing. Basically, my buildings usually my buildings, you see, usually are akin to Soviet block houses and shit. So that's basically how it looks usually. Yeah, I'm alt tabbing, as you can see, and what else, and trying to just organize shit in places. Sorry, just there we go. That should help me view the chats as well. All right, then. I suppose we can get into topics. So since I got a bunch of them lined up, again, giving Pilot the chance to go first.
Oh, no, please go ahead with your stuff that, that's old but new again.
Okay, right. Well, obviously, we're going to be talking about, well, of the old, really boring stuff. Elite Dangerous, right? So let's just get shit out of the way. So Elite Dangerous for the fleet carriers and blah 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 blah. Developers have quote unquote listened to the community and through the feedback have given folks slightly altered numbers, and that's about it on the said fleet carriers. Results essentially are nothing. The changes are, well, for my taste, really not at all there. They haven't really changed anything that is of importance. They promised to introduce... Oh, actually, no. The jump timers, kind of better. The question is whether or not that is more suited for the game overall, whether or not that's going to be good or bad. As yeah, now we can start, sort of thinking and doing the feelers whether or not, that's better or worse, or that's what we needed, and that's how it should work. So we'll see.
I think we covered that pretty hard when we did X's stream, is that we really wish that there's other stuff in it, that there's more changes to be made, etc., etc., etc. But realistically, between you and me and the wall posts, I really don't give a shit.
Yeah, realistically, it's just blah. Yeah. So yeah, essentially, fleet carriers, okay, the jump delays, okay, fine. Now for me, it's like, okay, now we can start dissecting whether or not that's something that we need to tweak or not, all right? Finally at that. Universal cartographics is going to be introduced for fleet carriers for the next beta, for all the consoles and blah, 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 blah as well. So everyone's going to be able to just jump in and, at least test out. If you got cash, remember, folks, developers didn't promise to offer you actual fucking tools to test shit with, if you hadn't already ground your face off in Elite Dangerous, so that's wonderful. Remember, folks, Elite Dangerous, not offering your testers the tools through which or with whom to test the shit that is required to be tested. Yeah!
That's assuming they wanted it tested.
Yeah, that's true. That's the disgusting attitude that I don't like about the current state of fleet carriers and their attitude at testing shit. I mean, it's perfect time to go and actually try and see whether or not the stress test will go through. Fuck it. Already spent 10 minutes of the news on this garbage. So basically, they didn't remove the upkeep. It's still manipulative as fuck, and we should push for basically removing it immediately, and that's it. Pure and simple. We should not take any sort of a, I don't know, well, counter, well, no, not fuck. Half measures, there we go. No compromises when it comes down to upkeep. It must go completely, and that's my opinion, and I've shared plenty of information about it. Anyways, Pilot obviously doesn't care, and, well, unless you do.
I just don't know what it's for. I don't know what it's for. I don't know why I would get one. Can anyone out there tell me why
that's a
this
good question,
is a good thing?
for me too. So yeah, it's very meh. Right, then moving on to something a bit more interesting then. Let's go with the Crysis then. Yes, Crysis will be remastered, and well, the Crytek, or well, the developers of Crysis, or whoever is right now holding Crysis hostage, if you will be remastered indeed, and they say that it will have ray tracing as well. And honestly, I'm quite interested to see what the good old PC melting simulator will do, because first of all, the game to this day looks fantastic and very realistic. Yeah, if you start looking at the foliage, yeah, you start to see how it's made up. But the thing is, even from back in the day, it took some interesting ways of basically, well, padding out the environments in such a way that it did truly feel the closest to reality. And that was in 2007, right? That truly was just that sort of turning point where you could go and say, oh, wow, this actually can be done. And then for the next 10 years, basically, companies try to emulate it with stupid effects, and, well, Crytek themselves with Crysis 2 and Crysis 3, which really didn't look that good in comparison, in my opinion, but regardless. So, yeah. Pilot.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I mean, it deserves respect and admiration for being that game that benchmarked every other game. And, you know, canirunit.com was basically built off of the bones of Can I Run Crysis? So hey, good for that and whatever. And I'm not particularly, ecstatic or rolling over that it's getting a remake. The Final Fantasy VII remake looked neat, and I like what they did with the story, but
yeah, I didn't play the demo though, so yeah, I'm like in dark. But again, I just finished recently the 15, so I'm like, oh god, there's just so much story. Why? No, I don't want to play 15 other games.
Wait, do you know that there's a twist to it, right? That it's not actually a direct remake. It's more of a, well, you know how like in Nolan's Batman,
it's a reboot, soft reboot. It's called soft rebooting, probably.
It's not a soft reboot. It's a there's a term for it. Envisioning. It's a director's take on a franchise. You know how we have different Jokers. Yeah,
I see. Okay.
It's interesting. I like it. You probably won't.
All right. Fair enough, I guess. But yeah, all right.
Reimagining, that's it.
Fine, no. Fair enough. Let's see. But yeah, when it comes down to Crysis, right, they are gonna be putting in some interesting new things, obviously updating the graphics in some ways, but my biggest interest in it of itself is to see, Crysis 1 ran on DirectX 9. Fucking DirectX 9. So right now it'd be super awesome to see how it basically has changed and hopefully updated with DirectX 12 that actually supports, multi-core processing better than anything else. And I would have preferred Vulkan, but it is what it is, right? Fuck it. New engine. I doubt there's gonna be any new Cry engine, because you see the old Crysis 1 ran on Cry Engine 2, and it was designed to handle massive maps and so on and so forth. But Cry Engine 3 that Crysis 2 was made on was basically a small room console supporting engine. And that was its downfall, in my opinion. Yes, it looked prettier in some ways and blah blah blah. But the problem with Crysis 2 was that it was made for consoles, and consoles couldn't handle those massive environments that well, Crysis 1 was able to do. So that was biggest disappointment for yours truly, right? But still. We'll see, because they've not really released any information about the Crysis just yet, remastered, so we'll have to just wait and see, basically. But I still am anticipating at least something interesting, because if they actually go with DirectX 12, oh my, I do want to see what it can do, and just
really
go and play through it again.
Are you this excited for this?
See, from the technical aspect, because if there's one thing that Crytek, even to this day is capable of doing, I at least hope, is at least decent performance and actually, I suppose, industry-leading technical aspects, much like id. Right, with id Tech 7, you can see quite an interesting sort of shift towards performance and just results of the APIs that are out there. Vulkan, they are using fucking Vulkan, and the fact that you can make such a oh, fuck you, basically. I'm interested in technical aspects of graphics and just advancements in games, so you go fuck yourself.
Oh, come on, man. I mean, it's just gonna be, Crysis. It's the same story. It's the same narrative. I mean, you're gonna play it for nostalgia value. I mean,
I'm gonna be playing it not for nostalgia value. I'm gonna be playing it because I fucking enjoy seeing new, advancements in, not only technical side of things, but also just graphics, right? Just
I'm
APIs
just gonna point out that you're playing Minecraft as you're giving me this spiel.
And we're gonna get to that as well. As a matter of fact, today we're gonna be talking about games and the future of it a little bit as well. So there's that too. But yeah, Crysis. They announced it on. The funniest thing is, they sort of hinted at it on April 1st. So I took it as a fucking joke, right? The typical thing, right? Oh, Crysis is doing something. Ha 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 ha. That's April 1st. What a joke. Ho ho ho. But no, yeah, there we go. We actually have something interesting coming from good old peoples at Crytek. Hopefully, we'll see.
Huzzah.
Yeah, indeed. And well, that's about it. Let's see. All right, you take another one.
Let's talk about a game that's actually out now and you can play for free. Just Cause 4 is out this week and it's for free. Well, obviously it's not out this week. It
on
came
Steam.
out a while ago. It's not on Steam. It's on unfortunately. It's unfortunately Epic, but it is free.
Fuck.
Yeah. And you know what? Realistically, that is a wonderful game about diversity and encouragement and bringing up the lower class. And I'm totally joking. You're gonna you're gonna shoot
run
everything
around with
and
the
then
fucking dildo
throw it
bat
up in
and
the air.
shoot
Exactly.
rainbow lasers.
Yeah, that's what this is about, really. Come on.
Yeah, it is a good game. So
it is a good game. I always love the Just Cause series.
Yeah, if you're willing to install Epic, thingamajig, so yeah, you get a free game, I guess. So that's nice.
Actually, you get 2 games. You get 2 free games a week. Which, come on, I mean,
well, limited time, wasn't it?
No, I get 2 free games every week.
Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough. All right. Right. First of all, I do read chats, but this is Space Race News, sort of a news thing. An hour's worth of just basically a recap of weekly news and so on. So. Right. So Just Cause is free. Let's see.
Other game
okay,
offers.
well, let's go with more toxic news, I suppose. So Riot Games, the creators of the only game that they have, and thus they aren't really games as a plural, but Riot Game, makers of League of Legends, now will actually be properly callable, or you can call them properly now as Riot Games Studio, whatnot else. They are releasing a new game called Valorant. And some people have discovered an anti-cheat that does a thing. Now, there are different ways of doing anti-cheats and all that stuff in games, and it is often very important and can make or break a game. Now, obviously, because that game is touted and, of course, presented and as a big thing, the Overwatch killer or Counter-Strike killer or both, a combination and whatnot else, being the next, the competitive shooter sort of a thing, obviously, anti-cheat would be very important, and it did, as a matter of fact, break the most viewed thing, or Twitch's viewing records, a little while back when it went on closed beta. So yeah, that alone already tells you enough that it will be quite an interesting release. But you see, people have discovered some interesting things.
How about what the hell it's about? What is it about?
It's Counter-Strike and Overwatch. Basically, those two games combined. Like, literally, those two games combined. A competitive FPS shooter. With Counter-Strike style of, gunplay and Overwatch hero powers. There you go. So, yeah. But yeah, they did basically discovered that this game would use a specific style of anti-cheat that has a ring 0 access to your, basically it runs en route of your PC. Basically, when you turn it on, or rather, when you turn on your PC, it automatically runs, and it has the lowest level access to your PC. Basically, a lot of people expressed big concerns of your computer safety because of that, and essentially, yeah, they Riot Games have actually responded, at least the people, relatively within the company have responded, saying that some anti-cheats actually do use similar things, and as a matter of fact, anti-malware, antivirus, similar sort of a software actually does use similar methods, having something run immediately upon launch of the game, PC, and so on and so forth. Unlike with, for example, Fortnite, which has anti-cheat that only runs when you start the game. This is the thing. There are the whole cheating and hacking creation market. The people who make those hacks, and as a matter of fact, I think I used to know a person who did that bullshit for, I don't remember which game. I think it was League of Legends. Did make or attempt to make fucking hacks. I don't know. Haven't talked with the guy in a while, but regardless, they make money, and they make a shit ton of money. And the thing is, funny thing is, even though Valorant is in closed beta, there are already cheaters, hackers playing around, and their excuse that because some other because you have to have it start from the start of your PC when you turn it on and all that stuff to prevent hacking and cheating and whatnot else. And you still have plenty of fucking hackers in your game already in the closed beta. Kind of is null and void if you can't prevent the hacking. Sure, it does prevent enough of it, I guess, but
well, they did open up a bounty.
Yeah?
They opened up a bounty. If you can show us how you're breaking the game and how you're cheating, then we'll pay you. Did
they?
Yeah.
They're basically doing the Apple side of hacking thing. Okay, well, all right.
A lot of companies offer bounties, and either unofficially or officially. And hey, look, if you're giving in the at least attempt to say, hey, look, go break our thing, and we'll fix it, and we'll try to help you, and we'll pay you for your trouble and your time. You know what? Go for it, all for you. But yeah, you do got to remove that base kit root level thing. No, that's not
okay. The thing. A lot of people expressed that whole concern about the root access of anti-cheat, and would you actually want that sort of a software in your PC? So yeah, maybe Valorant is not the greatest game to pick up right now. And remember that, because they have access, they could, take your information. And of course, if you know a little bit about Riot, they are 100% owned by Tencent, a Chinese company that has had, if not voluntary, then involuntary, regardless sharing of data with Chinese government already in the past. So you know, it's nice to know a few important facts about the company as well as the methods that they use. So be wary of sort of this particular product, and what can I say else? It's follow the news, I guess. Not no these news, of course, and then of course wider news on Reddits, and of course in general gaming medias and what else. So yeah, hopefully
here's a game that won't actually steal all your data and sell it to a Chinese company. Hopefully, I kind of been trying to justify buying a Switch and maybe Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing had some issues, didn't they? They made it very grindy and very load screen-y. Yeah. So
apparently there's a couple of issues if you're open to the network. Is every time someone comes to your island, it does a little cutscene. You got
the loading screen. Everyone gets a loading screen. So if you, I don't know, like Dale from Angry Joe, their group, right? If you're like him and tell everyone in the chat, hey, come to my island, or accidentally show your island location and all that stuff, people will obviously come in, and basically playing will be non-possible. But that's of course only the influencer, the streamer or content creator issues. So I guess
not so much actually. Apparently regular people also have a problem. 50 freaking people will just all of a sudden come to your island, and you'll be stuck watching them come in for about 20 minutes.
Never been one for Animal Crossing style of game, but again, it can be cathartic, if you will. Fair enough.
No, I mean, look, realistically, we're living in a time where we can't go outside and look at trees or pick leaves or look at a bug or anything like that. It may be nice to kind of do that stuff now.
Wait, you can't go outside? Wait, what?
Well, not really.
Well, it's no reason for me to anyways go outside. Anyways, carry on.
You prefer the inside solitude?
I stay always inside.
Do you have the ring, or does it still belong to Bilbo? Have you actually put it on and called it precious, or no?
This is my precious. My precious. My precious.
It's going all bald on top, hunched over.
Oh, yeah. All right, so, Animal Crossing, right. Anything else about that?
No, I mean, not really.
No,
I mean,
okay.
It's just a chill little game in the same vein as Stardew Valley, and that has its place. If I'm in the right mood, I just want something where it's shallow but deep at the same time.
All right, fair enough. Right. Well, I guess we can go for the thing that you see on the screen right now. The topic about
boats.
Is that lit up? No, not exactly. No, RTX being given for Minecraft. Now, those of you that followed a little bit of Minecraft news or general tech news and so on and so forth, you might have caught a glimpse back in the day when they announced, NVIDIA announced the 2000 series graphics cards, right? So they did say that it's gonna have ray tracing cores, and games would be able to put in ray tracing in their games and blah yada yada. And essentially, they did at least put it in a few games. As a matter of fact, if you followed Battlefield and all that stuff, you probably experienced at least someone mention ray tracing and so on and so forth. A new style of essentially graphics displaying methods, if you will, and they did promise later
we get
on.
It.
Obviously.
It's ray tracing.
Yeah, sure. Again, you can go online and basically look up more detail as to how ray tracing exactly works. But essentially, from your screen, it shoots a ray. It bounces off and gets color data and all that stuff about how it's lit and from where it's lit and blah blah blah. Basically, it's very different from
Make things look prettier.
well, it's more realistic style of more closer to life style of lighting than you would normally get. So yeah. Yeah, they did announce that, eventually, something like this year's end, by the end of this year, basically, they would be giving ray tracing to Minecraft. Just overall, ray tracing to Minecraft in perpetuity, if you will. The thing is...
What's the Venn diagram crossover between people who have a ray tracing capable card and the people who really love Minecraft?
A lot, plenty.
Really?
I'd say there are plenty. There are plenty. But no, the thing is, even if, well, actually, now that I think of it, let's see, they did actually give ray tracing capabilities to GTX cards as well, but, well, depending on which, card you have, the performance will be hit or miss. Now, regardless, right, so right now if you have Minecraft on Windows 10, that is, if you have the Windows 10 version of Minecraft, you're given the opportunity for just applying for ray tracing beta that they're bringing out. So basically you need to go to Microsoft Store, buy the fucking Minecraft for Windows 10. And I basically did that today. And it's a clusterfuck to just go through. That, yeah, it's a horrible store. But regardless, there was, as a matter of fact, even before this announcement that, Minecraft would be getting ray tracing treatment, they did actually announce, or rather not they, but there was a fan-made mod already for Minecraft. It didn't run quite well. As a matter of fact, I did stream with it, or at least attempt to stream with it, and it was very hit and miss. But regardless, once you got it going, it really was pretty. It truly was. And lighting, right now is quite a bit prettier as well, as a matter of fact. Right, when it comes down to it, also about the ray tracing, right, back in the day before the announcement for Minecraft, they did release, sorry, they did release a ray tracing version of Quake 2. I played that as well, and as a matter of fact, recently I did finish it fully. And you see, I didn't finish the Quake 2 back in the day when it came out, or before, as a matter of fact. So the first time I finished it was with RTX. What?
You finally got it to completion?
Oh, yeah. I finally completed it, and, well, whatever. Yeah. So essentially, I gotta say that in comparison, right, so I go back and look at, how the non-ray traced version of Quake 2 looked, and holy shit. The whole method of just shadowing and actually, as a matter of fact, drawing the image on your screen through these methods of ray tracing, right? It basically brings in quite an amazing level of detail, as well as just a realism to it. It just makes old games look so much better. Say what you will, and well, it gives that extra layer of depth, if you will. So yeah, personally, I can say that I find it extremely important that they continue making and of course developing the techniques and of course the technology to just make this the basically future of gaming's sort of a look, if you will. Rather than
I'm pretty sure they're going to do that anyway.
No, I mean, the reason why ray tracing hasn't been really, mainstream or actually been developed for games in general, right, is because it takes a certain level of performance from the graphics cards, and only now, even now, it's kind of hit and miss, really. Graphics cards finally can sort of manage it, right? It takes a lot of performance. It truly does. Because remember, it's vector, not exactly vector, I think. It was just no, I think it was vector calculations constantly being done, and well, say what you will, and say as good as the graphics cards tend to be, yeah, we're still kind of a little bit off before we can, you know, fully jump and make ray tracing the main source and main method of displaying, well, images on screens. But it will be the future of gaming because, well, or rather the future of visualizing the things. Because again, movies and everything again, it's basically just like the real life display, display essentially, if you will. Okay.
Well, I mean, it looks pretty. I mean,
it does look really
going
pretty. It truly gives depth and more to the games, and that technology overall is truly fascinating. And well, it's something that I wish everyone luck, you know, who's working on it and so on and so forth, to, you know, succeed in making over time, because it's truly wonderful how it just breathes absolutely new life, at least for not only Minecraft, Quake 2, and I imagine every other game that will come out. It's fantastic.
What is this room you're in?
Hey?
What is this room you're in? This looks neat.
That is, again, alright, so basically right now, you have the beta for ray tracing mod, official mod by NVIDIA, introduced for Windows 10 version for Minecraft. So if you have that, you can actually, for free, right? You don't need to, you know, buy anything extra or whatnot else. You can apply for that beta, and then you can just simply play a few mods, or rather not mods, but with this ray tracing capability, there are already preset maps that you know, support ray tracing. So you need to load the map and whatnot else, but you can still play within it as normal, just you know, whatnot else. Or if you have already set materials, or was it, no, not textures, I think it was just generally speaking, textures, packs, and resources, the general ray traced supported resources that would allow you to generate your own maps. So yes, you can actually play it on your own generated, you know, seeds and all that stuff, if you have the resources for it. And there will be eventually more and more coming out, because this, of course, this is basically one of the first days this thing is out, and it's wonderful. Right. So yeah, ray tracing is certainly something I'd keep an eye out, and we're gonna see. Well, the more time goes by, more and more games with this sort of a capability. Of course, Crysis, as I previously mentioned, apparently will be supporting also ray tracing. So that will be the most interesting thing for me. So actually, I can show the difference between ray traced and non-ray traced, I think. Yes. Yep, there we go. Come on. This is without ray tracing, as normal it would look, right? There is a massive difference, isn't it? Especially on the glass, if you go closer, right?
Turn it back on.
Yep.
My God, I don't want to look at this anymore. It makes my eyes hurt. Here, yes, this is better.
So yeah. There is quite a bit of a difference, especially if you turn it back on and off and so on. So yeah, it's wonderful, and frankly, I'm so happy to see this sort of technology, you know, become more mainstream and just more supported in the games. God damn it, I can imagine only how, you know, for my own favorite games would look within this sort of a more accurate lighting and so on and so forth. Oh, man.
I mean, I'm really looking forward to playing EV Nova, you know, with ray tracing. I really am.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it's all really pretty. Whatever you prefer, really.
Have you never played EV Nova? Do you know what I'm?
No, I don't think I have. Describe me the game, because I might have missed the name.
It's
there.
a top-down little space game where you. Just
okay, definitely not. No.
Yeah, no, exactly. I'm being facetious.
Of course, there will still be plenty of games that go with the whole pixel art aesthetic, and And more,
Yeah.
of course. But yeah. Anyways, right. I assume Pilot wants to move on forward. So
I don't have anything
topic.
particular to talk about except that Pokemon Go has remote raids now. And
Oh yeah, right. They
don't care.
announced that stuff too. Yeah. So if you're a
They
Pokemon Go
did.
player, God knows why, but well, hey, I guess it's a good game for time wasting. But
Yeah, you know what? My nieces have finally gotten into it after being late to the game for like 4 years. But they're into it and they're very happy they can stay at home and not work on anything and go and participate in Pokemon Go raids. And I don't care. But Razer has put out these Pikachu wireless earbuds, and they come in a freaking Pokeball carrying case. And I kind of do care about that. I kind of want a Pokeball carrying case for wireless earbuds. That sounds awesome. Come on, right? Carry a little Pokeball.
I'm not a Pokemon fanatic, even though as a child I kind of was hyped for them. These days, seeing where the company has taken the whole brand and how just homogenous it has become, no thanks. I'll pass. So yeah.
I mean, look, I honestly I haven't played the 4 games either, but come on, there's something to be said for a little bit of nostalgia there. Didn't you want a Pokeball when you were a kid? Come on.
I tried to make one myself.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Tell me about your homemade Pokeball, please.
Okay, so let's see. Well, there were similar eggs to Kinder Surprise, right? But the outer shell rather than the inner one, right? And from those, I basically, with Scotch tape, just glued them, sort of, or just stuck them together, and boom, there you go. That.
Okay.
I mean, what more do you want? Right?
I'll be honest with you. I have a Pokeball in my house.
Is it like a proper prop or?
No, it's a grinder, but it's used for a very specific grinding of certain herbs.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Oh. So yeah.
Anyway,
anything
what
else
else we got?
No?
Actually,
let's see.
I got little, man. I got nothing.
I'll go for it.
I'm just saying I got nothing. Realistically, it's been a pretty slow week, and we've been talking a lot about
it's been plenty. Come on, Crysis announcement and the fucking ray traced Minecraft. Fuck's sakes, that's not a slow week. That's fucking fantastic. Just Cause for free as well. That's awesome.
Yeah, Just Cause has been eating up a lot of my time. I'm happy.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
I
mean, you never really get tired of tethering things to other things and sending them into the sky. Yeah.
Well, that too, yes. So. Oh well. Let's see.
What have you been working on?
Oh God. Well, I don't know. Slowly but surely, I want to do one tech video on one very interesting controller, if you will. So that's a project that is sort of slowly, super slowly coming. But yeah, expect that eventually.
Ooh. You got a sponsor?
That's the thing. It's kind of an interesting thing. They sent me the thing, right, and they, or rather, offer potential. What was it? The affiliate link, and I'm thinking, does that constitute as sponsored or not? Probably for safety, for the safety and whatnot. Yeah. I'll probably go and just say that it is. But yeah. There will be a showcase, basically, not a review, obviously, because, sponsored review? What kind of a disingenuous piece of shit does that? And I'm totally not throwing any stones here at anyone, right? I'm totally not throwing any stones here. Oh, no.
Hey, we've all had sponsors. We've all had
sponsors. I've had sponsors. I'm talking about my media peers. Totally not throwing any stones in anyone's direction. Just saying.
You mean those reviews?
Yeah.
It definitely takes skill. Yeah. It takes skill to use this mouse. It takes skill.
No.
Not that it's completely unusable.
Pilot. We're talking not about that. We're talking about the fact that sponsored review. Sponsored means that the sponsor has the last say on what goes on a review, and review in of itself is, well, supposed to be unbiased. You know, it shouldn't be affected by anyone outside of your own opinions.
Well, there's a difference between getting the product for free and then putting out a review versus, hey, we're going to send you the product and pay you to say nice
swoosh
things
and a
about it.
miss. It goes over your head, I guess. Sorry.
It does.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know.
That's a different
You're not very
topic
good
for
at
another
subtle
day. Anyways, right. We're not talking about the industry bullshittery. Right. Let's see what else we got. Well, for the general part, I think for this week's sort of a news, I guess that's about it. But yeah. Personally, I'd say I'm actually also thinking of maybe doing I don't know, some sort of a Minecraft video or something, because the thing is, the game is good. Like it or not, the game is fucking good and impressive, and especially now with the new technology, it's probably will be interesting to just return and play a little bit. But whether or not
it clearly has atmospheric landings.
Oh well, yeah, that too. Ha 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 ha. So yeah, who knows? Well, regardless, hopefully you folks enjoyed this Space Waste News, relatively quicker edition of this week. Stay tuned after this stream. I'm gonna take a little break and, tune in to playing a little bit of Stellaris. So yeah, basically expect that. And for now, this has been, Pilot and YamiKs doing Space Waste News. And tune in next week at the same time.
Happy Saturday, everyone.
Enjoy the weekend. If you don't watch the further streams. All right. Take care.
Bye.